Hello everybody, welcome to our session. Hi, I'm Amy Hale, and I am a Reiki master teacher and a hypnotherapist and life coach. So I am going to begin this session by lighting the sage that cleanses our environments and even a little bit of ourselves. This one tends to take a little bit longer to light. We've got some smoke. So tonight's session, I am here to help you with your self-talk. So many of us talk really badly to ourselves. We wouldn't even talk to a friend like we talk to ourselves. And I would like to dedicate this session to help you stop abusing yourself, stop gaslighting yourself, so that you can de-stress, be calmer, and even gain more clarity for your life. So just imagine the smoke entering your environment to cleanse it. I'm going to do that over here as well. I don't know if you can see the smoke, but I am getting the feeling that many of you are using this for sleep. And that's not an unusual thing, so I'm not really predicting that. So it's still lit. So we're going to use the candle for the official dedication of this session. If you have another dedication for this session for yourself, please feel free to place it into the flame, as long as it's for the highest and finest good of all. So we are dedicating this session to you and help calm your mind, to calm that self-talk, the negative self-talk. I'm also going to be placing some meditation behind this to help switch your self-talk into something better. Okay, getting rid of the hair. Oh, it's still there. Okay. And I'm going to take this around to start the fire element cleansing process. And let's see what we can do to see the smoke go into the ethers, to have the universe come and help us with this. There we go. Good. So if you know you have loving and helpful guides and angels, go ahead and call them in at this time, and I'm calling in the highest and finest angels to help us with this process of helping you stop those sabotaging thoughts, the gaslighting of your being. And we call in Archangel Michael and his warriors of light to protect you, me, and this session. We also call in Archangel Raphael to help us heal and help us create better, more peaceful thoughts so that we can enjoy life more. And I'm just going to take my hands through the field to assess what we're working with today. If there's anything unusual. For those of you who watched the last video, it looks like we made things a bit more fluid for you. That's what I'm feeling. Let's see. I'm just running my hands through. I'm feeling first and second chakras are blocked on somebody or several of you. Yeah. Some of us have quite a few strands up here that need to be plucked. All right. And I'm going to take my selenite wand in order to help neutralize much of the strands, cords, energy that need to be plucked and pulled and taken out. It helps me better to pluck them and dispose of them. I find selenite to be one of the most calming crystals as well. It just has so many functions and capabilities. I know I've said it before, but selenite is really one of my favorite crystals. Probably my favorite crystal of all. So now before I do the plucking, I'm going to use this. It almost looks like a key today. I'm going to use this to dig into the chakras and the energy field where a lot of those thoughts may be jumbled up here. So I'm just going to take this and make them easier to pluck. It's kind of like, when you see thread or string or yarn, it just gets all, the more you touch it, the more wound up it gets. That's what it looks like. So I'm using this to basically unwind that. I'm also going to use it at your throat chakra. All right. So I'm going to light the candle again. And let's see what we can take out of there. So it must be a cooler morning because my heat keeps coming on. It is a little cooler in here today. So can't wait for that weather for shorts. I'm going to take the black onyx through to act like a vacuum for anything that I've missed. Sometimes there's just so much I need to have a little help. I'm not saying that might have sounded strange. I didn't mean that any particular person had a lot. I'm just many people have trouble with this, so there should be a lot. I don't know if any of you have recognized this yet or not. Sometimes we are so negative that we never get a chance to notice. But have you ever noticed that when you're being super hard on yourself and keep berating yourself, gaslighting yourself, that other things just tend to go wrong? Like maybe you get sick, maybe your car breaks down, or maybe you attract another drama in some way. But then when you really work on letting go and using some maybe positive affirmations for a while, things let up a bit. So it's super important to help cleanse yourself. Some people do it in water. You're just kind of letting the shower go down around you and washing away a lot of the negative debris going down the drain. Nature walks, letting nature take care of a lot of that negativity can be so helpful. I know this is challenging for a lot of people, but cleaning up our diet, the way we eat, the way we treat ourselves with food, or what we drink, what we take into our bodies, will certainly help alleviate a lot of that gaslighting. I know there's a lot of people that are in recovery watching these videos. And just notice how those walks in nature and looking at what you're putting in your body, and as you get better, you have better control. It's easier to let go of that gaslighting. It's easier to let go of that negative self-talk. To go from surviving to thriving. So much easier. It's worth it. It's worth it to make that effort. You're worth it to make that effort. I'm also going to bring my black kyanite out. I haven't used it in a while. And that helps remove more negativity, but also it helps bring your chakra system back into a better alignment. Making sure I'm getting behind you. So at this point, let's pull a couple cards. I'm using the Inner Peace cards. I think that's apropos for the session, and I've got one card that flipped out. Put that aside. Let's see. There's another one. Okay. So the first one is forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? What do you need to forgive yourself for? And maybe if you have a trouble with the word forgiveness, we could think about maybe something's happened and instead of, trying to find that forgiveness, if you struggle with that, think about what does that event mean about you? Sometimes clarifying that gives you the opportunity to really work on that theme because it's going to show up somewhere else. And because we have our guides and angels here, they can help us to relieve that. All right. And the second one is leader of the light. Where are you being called to serve and support others? So many people don't realize that they go through some pretty terrible things sometimes. And because that makes you stronger, or it's supposed to make you stronger, depending on the choices that you make, and you still have time to make those choices, but it's often a calling to help others who might be going through something just as disastrous or even worse, or maybe not as bad. We don't need to judge that. Because nobody's traumas are are less than anybody else's. So just think about it for a moment. Are you being called to help others? Because you've made it through, made it out to the other side where it's so much better? You might still have unhappy thoughts. You might still have very critical thoughts of yourself, and you can continue to work on that. It's kind of a pretty card, too. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go through the crystals for a moment because I'm going to be quiet through the Reiki healing process. So this is blue, oops. This is blue apatite, using it for the throat chakra, which is often involved with a lot of negative self-talk, with communication to oneself and others. Okay? Not necessarily doing these in order, so this is labradorite. It's a very light colored labradorite, and I'm not sure if it will show up. It doesn't often show up on camera, but you can see the iridescence in person. So it is labradorite, which helps cleanse and energize. It's protective as well. Energizes the sixth chakra, the crown. It's mostly used for anything in the head area. I'm also going to be using amethyst, as it is very good for the third eye, the crown, even the zeal back there. And sunstone. I find sunstone very invigorating for the mind. When you've cleansed it, it can help brighten you on the inside. Okay. Now, if you haven't yet closed your eyes, this would be a good time. And just take a nice, gentle, deep breath, letting the air out smoothly and evenly. And simply begin to slow down any words in your mind, any thoughts about what we've been talking about, any thoughts about other things. These can all become calmer, slower, softer. Maybe with the next breath in, you can put a bit of a yawn between that and the out breath. And as you slow down your breathing, and let each breath out be longer and smoother, like a wonderfully relaxing sigh. So instead of being caught up in negative self-talk, you reconnect with your body. you reconnect with your breathing. And as you drift deeper inside, notice there's a you that's always here, always observing. As a you that can watch thoughts with a calm detachment. A you who can watch that breathing with a calm detachment, noticing how the air tends to feel a little warmer when you breathe out, and a little cooler when you breathe in. And when you take a step back and notice your experience like this, it creates a time and space for your body to properly relax, for your shoulders to loosen, for your facial muscles to smooth out. As a calm stillness begins to imbue the air around you with peace and rest, the space all around your body infused with calm and relaxation, the space within your mind saturated with inner peace. Or like a clock that has been overwound, ticking excessively fast and erratically, that now slows right down into a calm, rhythmic tick, tock, tick, tock, finding a relaxed, slow rhythm inside. And as those arms begin to feel comfortably heavy, as well as those legs, the more subconscious portions of that mind prepare to learn on an instinctive level. As your mind begins to drift and dream, and just imagine yourself relaxing even deeper, relaxing all the way down into comfort, into a nurturing, safe kind of rest, fully absorbing the learnings. It's safe to drift all the way down, deeper. And you know those times when that negative voice inside, that critic, has tried to push you around, the way those unhelpful thoughts have stolen your peace, distracted you from being able to think clearly, and tried to make you feel like you weren't good enough somehow. Like there was something wrong with you. And you can just calmly notice the way that gaslighting part has tried to steal your faith in yourself as you prepare to make deep and lasting change inside. And those brutish, bullying thoughts that in the past have been given free rein to barge their way about in your mind, those unhelpful, insulting, overly personal, and overly generalized criticisms that highlighted your mistakes and then told you that you were no good as a person. Those thoughts are just part of a primal, untamed instinct, which is waiting to be channeled, a potent source of energy waiting to be transformed from lead into gold, because we all need to learn from our mistakes, and having a force within you driving you to do better, to strive to improve and better yourself, can be tremendously useful. And just as anger can become focused determination, so that inner voice of self-criticism can become a mature and kind but firm and civilized voice that draws attention to your achievements and how you can also still better yourself. And what would it be like right now for that evolution to take place, to watch and listen those nasty, gaslighting words, that wild inner critic who used to hurl abuse at you, gradually evolves, becoming more respectful, civilized, and self-disciplined, as you hear that inner voice change now to begin to speak in a calm, kind but firm, respectful and truthful way to you, acknowledging your strengths, the areas of your life you still need to work on. And you can just listen to that right now. And as you watch and listen, notice how having this new inner voice changes certain situations in your life. How does it feel to have succeeded at something? Maybe at work, maybe socially. How this new voice allows you to feel genuinely proud of your achievements. And now, if you make a mistake, the voice speaks to you kindly but firmly about how you can be sure to do better next time. And if you should ever hear an echo of those old bullying thoughts, they can sound so distant and remote, like the memory of an old pair of shoes from childhood that you've long outgrown. And you can notice those old thoughts with a calm, indifferent detachment, knowing you've come such a long way since then. And you can listen to this often and relax even more deeply each time that you do.